Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my top 20 favorite movies of 2011. Finally, I know it's the third month into the new year, 2012 already, but I did my top 10 worst a couple days ago, and the Oscars actually just ended about a week ago, so you know what? It's still kind of relevant, so get over it, okay? I'm gonna say this before I actually start. There's a lot of Oscar movies that I did not get a chance to see, like Hugo, The Descendants, The Artist, which actually won Best Picture, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. There's tons of Oscar movies I didn't get a chance to see, only because they're either not in my theaters, they're not on DVD yet, or I just never had a chance to. Like right now I know Hugo's out on DVD, but my Redbox, none of my Redbox have it, so I couldn't rent it. I wanted to before I did this list, but couldn't find a single fucking Redbox that had it, so sorry about that. Alright, just wanted to say that. Now, let's get into the top 20. Now, before I actually do the top 20, I have to do the honorable mentions. So, you know what? Let's get into the honorable mentions. Now, I'm going to do the honorable mentions a little bit different this year. I'm just going to show you a bunch of posters for movies I think are definitely worthy of being good. So, here's the roll call for movies that I think were damn well good. Alright, so those were some damn good movies. Alright, bravo. But now let's get into the top 20 best movies 2011. Yeah, that's right. So let's get into it. With, of course, number 20, which is actually a tie, because I couldn't pick one of these to go into honorable mentions. I really like both of these films. I thought they were definitely considered really, really entertaining films. So entertaining that I actually wanted to put it in my top 20. And these two movies are The Muppets and Real Steel. Now, I love The Muppets. I loved The Muppets since I was a kid, so I really couldn't wait to see this film. And when I reviewed it, I probably gave it a little too high. I know I gave it too high. I gave it like a 37 out of a 40. It was a little too high, but still, it's a great, fun, nostalgic movie. Very fun, very funny. I love it. Okay, it's very, very, very old-fashioned Muppets, and I love it. Real Steel is just a fun movie. It's what Transformers should have been. They don't transform, but they beat the hell out of each other, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It really is, and you could tell what's going on. You know what robot is which robot. Unlike Transformers, where it's just like, fucking, it does this thing, and you don't know who's attacking who, and it's just like, if I did this the whole time in front of a camera, you don't know what's going on. So, yeah. Anyway, that was my number 20, Real Steel and The Muppets. Alright, so let's go on to number 19, which is War Horse, which is an Oscar movie. It was in the Best Picture nominations, so there you go, I'm already talking about an Oscar movie. War Horse was actually really damn good. Like, when I first saw it, again, kind of like The Muppets, I gave it a little bit too high of a score. When I thought about it more and more after it came out, I was like, okay, it was a little too, carbon copy of any Steven Spielberg movie of the past. But you know what, to be honest, I liked that. I thought it was great. It was very emotional, had a great cast of acting, and, well, great cast of acting. Great cast of characters with fantastic acting. Had great war scenes when there was some. It was a really emotional movie, and I really enjoyed it. War Horse is a great film. Cinematography was amazing, and the score was epic, because it's John Williams, and he knows how to do a score. Yes. So there you go, number 19, War Horse. Now let's talk about number 18, which is Moneyball. Of course, that movie with Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's like in every freaking movie nowadays. I really enjoyed Moneyball. I really thought the script was fantastic in the film. It was very, very entertaining to watch. There was some parts where it did get a little boring. That's why it's not higher in my list. And I know some people are going to kill me. I know a lot of people that I actually know would say this is the best movie of 2011, and it's only number 18. But it got a little boring sometimes. It really did. And to be honest, I didn't really care for the Brad Pitt character. He was kind of a douchebag, but to be honest, that was what they were trying to do, and they did make him sympathetic in parts. I did really like Moneyball. I thought it was very entertaining for a movie that was all about just, you know, the other stuff of baseball besides the baseball part. You know, it was entertaining. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought it was fun. It was a good time. And Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt together, they do a fantastic job. Who'd have thought? So anyway, let's get on to number 17, which is Super 8. This film was considered, just like War Horse, to be a carbon copy of any other, you know, Steven Spielberg movie of the past. And this one wasn't made by Steven Spielberg. I mean, it was produced by him. But this was made by J.J. Abrams, the guy who brought us Lost, that show Alias, which I don't care. No, not Alias. Was it Alias? I can't remember. He brought us, what was that game? Movie, Star Trek. Star Trek was an amazing movie. So Super 8, I couldn't wait to see. I loved the trailer when it first showed. I was like, oh God, this is going to be another Cloverfield. I can't wait. And it wasn't. It was a lot like a Steven Spielberg, you know, a past Steven Spielberg movie. But to be honest, Super 8, I would say, has probably the best cast of kid actors of all time. They all did absolutely fantastic in this film. You cared for every single one of the characters. When they showed the monster, it wasn't as disappointing as some people would say that it was. I mean, it looked like a monster, and it looked threatening. I liked it. Super 8 was just a very fun movie, and it did bring me back to the nostalgic Steven Spielberg age, where it was all like whimsical and, oh, look at E.T., finger stuff, you know, when he touches his finger, you know. I always thought the finger thing was kind of weird in my opinion, but yeah. Number 17, Super 8. I really loved Super 8. I thought it was a really fun movie. Everybody should go check it out if you haven't yet. So there you go, 17, Super 8. Let's go on to number 16, which is Limitless, which is that film that came out early last year that had Bradley Cooper in a starring role by himself without his freaking hangover buddies like Zach Galifianakis and Ed Helms and that freaking other dude. This was a starring role for him, and he did an absolutely fantastic job. If you do not know what Limitless is about, it's about this drug that if you take it, you pretty much unlock all of your brain power. So anything you ever learned that you forgot, you remember right there. So he becomes a pretty much a superhero in a way. It's pretty much a superhero origin story, and it's such a good movie. It really is. Bradley Cooper did a fantastic job. You also had people like Abby Cornish, who played his girlfriend, who did a great job. Robert Downey, not Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro, who did a great job, of course. He's Robert De Niro. Even in the shittiest movies, he does at least a decent job. Maybe not Rocky and Bullwinkle or the Fokker movies. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, he did a good job in this. I really loved Limitless. I thought it was a great movie, and I would love to see a sequel. Now, I do have a problem with it, though, and that is there's parts of the movie that have there's subplots. There's subplots to the movie that go absolutely nowhere, okay? And I won't spoil what they are, but they really do go nowhere, and that's a problem. But for the most part, I thought Limitless was a great film. So that was my number 16, Limitless. Now my number 15 movie, which is Thor, God of Thunder. Or just Thor, because if you put God of Thunder on that, then it makes it sound like that video game that came out, which was absolutely horrendous. But this movie was definitely not that. It was a very entertaining superhero film. It started off pretty much the superhero movie summer, I guess you could say, because it was pretty much the first one. And then X-Men and Green Lantern and Captain America came after that. But this one was a great start. It was a very fun film. Chris Hemsworth did a fantastic job as Thor. I really liked his character. The humor was definitely there. Even the romance was there. And the action, when it got to it, there wasn't that much action, but when it got to it, it was a lot of fun to watch. The special effects were great. I thought Thor was great, so not much else to say about Thor. It was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. So my number 15 was Thor. Thor. Now let's talk about my number 14, which, again, just like Thor, was actually a really fun movie. This one was Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This one, many people didn't get to check out, and that's a sad thing because this was such a funny movie. It was actually one of the best comedies of last year, and it all has to do with a bunch of hillbillies who are some of the most likable hillbillies of all time, who get accused of pretty much killing everybody at this camp, or this pretty much this cabin where all these teenagers come to party, of course, just like any horror movie, and they get accused by these kids that they're pretty much gonna kill them. And of course, they're just lovable hillbillies. They didn't do anything to these kids, and these kids start running away from these guys and they start killing themselves on things like tree branches and stuff, and falling into wood chippers, and it's hilarious. It's a hilarious movie. You just love when someone kills themselves. It's hilarious, it's gruesome, and it has some of the most likable characters I've seen in a horror film of all time. I love Tucker and Dale. They are such a likable characters. Those two actors, Taylor Labine and Alan Tudyk, they're great in this film. I love those guys. So Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, definitely check it out. It's on Netflix Instant Stream right now. Go watch it. So there you go. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil was my number 14. Now let's talk about my number 13 film, which, again, just like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, is a film many people didn't get to check out, and that's kind of sad, of course. It always is when a movie's so good and people don't check it out. This one is Attack the Block, which, oh, I love me some Attack the Block. This film's about a bunch of London hoodlums, I guess you could say. They're about 12, 13, 15, 14, 15, whatever. They're young kids who are a bunch of gang members, and right in the beginning they mug a woman and you don't like them straight off the bat. They're all a bunch of douchebags, okay? And then these alien creatures fly out of the sky and fall right in their block, their hood, I guess you could say, and they don't like that. Not one bit. So, of course, they go out after these furry alien creatures, and right off the bat, you start liking these characters much more. They become much more likable characters later on, and I love this film. It was so entertaining, and this movie did something that most movies are afraid to do, and that is kill off child actors, or kill off child characters, and that's great. I love that. Even though there's some likable characters, don't get me wrong, it's cool that they actually do that, and they don't do it in like a off-screen sort of way. No, there's parts where it's like, boom, fucking head's bitten off, what's up? And they don't shy away from that. So Attack the Block, great film. I love it. It's fun, funny, great movie. Definitely check it out. Now let's talk about my number 12 film, which is another one many people didn't get to check out, but this one makes more sense because it's a foreign movie. This one's Point Blank, which is a film about a nurse, a guy nurse, who takes care of a criminal on mistake, and after he did that, he screwed up when he did that, because the criminal's brother kidnaps his wife and tells him to go and get the criminal, or he's gonna kill his wife. And after that, conspiracy and all that bull, you know how this goes. And this film has a great story, great cast of characters. Now, you're not gonna like it if you do not like reading subtitles, because it is a foreign movie. It's not an English dub at all. They don't speak English. You have to read some subtitles, but it's definitely worth it. It's a very thrilling movie, very suspenseful. You really care for all of these characters, especially the main character, the nurse. He does a great job in this film. I really like this character. You definitely have to go check this film out. It's on Netflix Instant Stream right now. Go check it out. It's called Point Blank. Check it out. Fantastic film. Now let's talk about my number 11 film, which is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. This film was awesome. I mean, Mission Impossible 3 was a great film, but this one had everything. It had badass action scenes. It had a great script for dialogue, at least. It was very funny, very fun to watch, very suspenseful at times. It had some of the best action set pieces I've seen in a very long time. There's not much to say about Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. It is an awesome action film that everybody should go check out, and pretty much during the holiday season, that was pretty much the only movie people checked out. So good job, Mission Impossible. You did good. Hopefully we'll see Mission Impossible 5. Brad Bird, you better direct that one too, because he did a fantastic job this time. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Look forward to my 10-to-1 picks tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed this one. There you go. Thank you, and goodbye. See you tomorrow. Bye.